join. So, very good evening to all the participants here on the behalf of Akone Services and SGT University Gurgaon. I welcome you all here on this open platform to share the experience to learn something for the society's betterment. The webinar series on environment protection and public health. So every Sunday we are organizing one small experience sharing between the society among the people, so that one can learn, one can adopt the new things, or we can say actually the things whatever required for our environment protection. So in this regard, we have 17th session today on ISO 14001. So before going to start the session, I'm going to introduce small, very brief about the account services here. So we have started means today on 12th September. This is 17th season, 17th number of webinar series on environmental management system ISO as per ISO requirement. The series is Environment Protection Public Health. We have started on 16th of May. Since then, we are organizing every Sunday. The account services is registered for environmental consultancy. Here are the services you can see which can be which are being provided by account services, starting from the environment clearance, forest clearance, wildlife clearance, CRZ clearance, and other supplementary services. Here is the browser. We are also providing training services in environment, EIA, forest, wildlife, other tribulations like environment tribulation and its solution, treatment scheme, STP, WTP, ETP, including air pollution, water pollution, soil noise, etc., regulations, rules, SIA, EIA, MIA, ZIA, all these things we are sharing. We are providing the training services to any people who are interested. We have planned one 7 days model and training program on EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment. This training entitled EIA Perception to Perfection, scheduled on 20th September to 26th September this month. Timing will be in the evening 7:30 to 9 p.m. Means maximum 2 hours will be allotted for 1 day's training session. Start from Monday to Saturday. And registration is of course open up to till 19 September. One can go for any type. If you have any query, then you can WhatsApp on this number. Number is already given here. Some brief snapshot you can see here. Then also we have 1 day training program, 1 month program, 3 month program. Here you can see 3 month program for EIA. Some 3 days program on metal recovery industrial from industrial effluent. We have also internship program for students. 3 days training program on EIA. Then 3 days training program on hazardous waste management, ABC in EIA, remote sensing, GIS, land use mapping, CETP management, climate change and environmental sustainability, ECBC compliances, EIA in India and other countries like Russia, USA, Japan, UK, and other countries, how they are practicing land use mapping, noise mapping, biomedical waste management, and many more training sessions are there. Also, we are into the academic section, publishing books, monograph, journals, papers, and many more things are there. So, not devoting much time on this, I am just going to introduce our guest speaker for today, Mr. Ambikesh Misraji. So, Mr. Ambikesh Kumar Misra earned MTech in Environment Science and Engineering, and currently he is doing PhD from IIT Dhanbad. He is working with Paradip Phosphate Limited, Odisha, as a Deputy General Manager in Environment since June 2016. Previously, he has worked with OCL India Limited, Lafarge India Limited, and Raymond Cement. He has more than 20 years experience in environment field. He is the lead auditor of EMS 14001. He is conducting various environmental awareness sessions for school children and as well as the societies. Over to you, sir. Now you can share your screen and you can start from this. Hello. Yeah. Your screen is visible, sir.
Sir, is it audible, sir?
Yeah. Pretty audible, and your screen is also visible. You can start now, please. You can go to the slide mode, presentable slide.
Yes, sir. Yes. Is it now correct, sir?
Yes, correct. Very correct, sir.
So can I start, sir?
Yes, please, please, please.
Sir, very good evening to all of you, sir. It's my immense pleasure to give me an opportunity to deliver my speech on today's session on environment management system ISO 14001. And I am very thankful to Dr. Ashok Rathore, sir, and Agrawal, sir, also Sharma, sir, and P.K. Pardosi, sir, who will guide me time to time and interact with time to time with me, sir. So now I am considering the time limit. I am starting my presentation on ISO 14001. So just a few definition. I will go slide to slide. What is environmental management system? As you all know that environmental management system is a structured system designed to help organizations manage their environmental impact and improve environmental performance caused by their products, services, and activities. This is the systematic way of managing an organization's environmental affairs based on P.D.C.A cycle of Deming, focused on continual improvement of the system, address immediate and long-term impact of an organization's products, services, and processes on the environment. The tools to improve environmental performance. So what is ISO 14001? An international standard for requirement of environmental management system produced by the ISO, International Organization for Standardization, used as basis for third-party certification. First published in 1996 and first revision was in 2004. This is the series of 14,000, ISO 14,000. Like that, ISO 14001 Environmental Management System, EMS, 14004 EMS General Guidelines, 14010 Guidelines for Environmental Auditing, 14011 Guidelines for Auditing of an EMS, 14012 Auditing Qualification Criteria. This is the model of continual improvement, like environmental policy, planning, implementation and operation, checking, management review, and then continual improvement. This is the model of continual improvement of ISO 14001. Sir, as we all know that difference about continual and continuous. In continuous, you can see the trend, in increasing trend. In continual improvement, there will be increasing trend, then also sustain, after that again increase, then sustain and continual. This is a continual improvement. This is the requirement of ISO 14001. There are so many clauses which is required in environmental system ISO 14001. This is the major 5 stage of EMS cycle: commitment, planning, implementation, evaluation and review. This is a Deming P.D.C.A cycle, plan, do, check, act. And there are so many components like plan, environmental policy, legal requirement, environmental aspect impact, assessment, objectives, management program, in do, contents, structure and responsibility, training, communication, documentation, operational control, in checking, monitoring and measurement, non-conformance and corrective preventive action, records, audit, and lastly, in the act, management review. This is the cycle which will be continue for this system. This is the some brief about the policy. Top management is committed to regulatory compliance, pollution prevention, and continuous improvement, which all included in the policy. Planning. Identify environmental interaction and significant aspect. Identify legal and other requirements and develop environmental objectives, targets, and the program in which to achieve them. Now, in implementation operation, define a structure and responsibility, identify and complete training needs, establish communication procedure, documents the EMS through policies, plans and procedures, establish document control, establish operational control, implement emergency preparedness plan and response, then checking, monitoring and measure environmental interactions, evaluate compliances, establish a non-conformance, corrective actions, and preventive action systems, maintain records relating to all, and perform periodic internal audit of the EMS, then management review, top management to review environmental performance, EMS performance, select policies, priorities, and objective and recommend improvement. This is the P.D.C.A cycle, which is the requirement of implementation of EMS system. Now planning. In this part, environmental aspect, impact analysis, legal and other requirements, objective targets and program. So what is environment aspect and impact? An organization evaluates and address its own significant aspect, positive or negative. So we can see this, what is the definition of aspect. As you all know that aspect, that means cause or input, element of an organization, activity, product or services which can interact with the environment. A significant environmental aspect is an environmental aspect that has or can have a significant environmental impact. That means if the significant aspect is observed or defined or identified, so their impact will be significant also. Impact, effect or output. As we see in the above aspect, cause or input, similarly impact, effect or output. Any change to the environment, whether adverse or beneficial, resulting from an organization's activities, product or services. The combination of environmental aspect with the environmental impacts in the first step is establishment the significance of the environmental aspect. That means, sir, impact may be positive or negative, like recycling of treated water. This is a positive impact. So, what item we should be considered in the defining the or analysis of aspect impact, considering the air emission, hazardous waste, solid waste, water effluent, contamination of land, noise, vibration and odor, land use, energy use, water use, raw material and resource use. Example like aspect, hazardous material like acid. So what will be the impact? Transportation and storage issue, environmental contamination. This is the one example of aspect impact analysis. Like the main component of this chart, first activity, environmental aspect, who may get affected, then conditions, direct activity or indirect, routine or non-routine, adequacy of impact control measures, impact severity, impact prioritization number, then impact total impact number, impact prioritization, overriding factor like LC, legal concern, IPC, interested party concern, PP, prevention of pollution, or any other. Is impact level is acceptable or not? Impact control additional measure is required. So we have just given one example, a storage and preparation of chemical for analysis of ambient air. So the sub aspect of this activity like generation of fumes during preparation, spillage of chemical during disposal of chemical after use or its expiry, breaking of glassware during handling and its use. So who may get affected? Maybe person, land, water, and depletion of resources also if chemical will be waste. This is the direct activity, maybe indirect in case of other agency, whatever we have a consultant like depot consultant. This is the routine activity. and the existing work instruction is given, so there is no any gap. Impact severity, air, water, land pollution, and also resource depletion. Impact factor like 1, impact possibility severity 4, and total is 4. This is the tolerable, and pollution prevention. Impact level is accept, yes, because work instruction is already given. Existing procedure to be followed for this activity. And next, legal and other requirement. As you all know that identify environmental legal requirement applicable to the operations of the organization. Identify other environmental requirement to which the agency subscribes. So how legal and other requirements apply to the environmental aspect. Keep these up to date and incorporate them into the element of the EMS. This is the main focus of this system. So objective targets and programs, as you all know that objectives should be measurable and time bound. Implementation and operation, resource roles, responsibility and authorities, competence training and awareness, communication, documentation, control of document, operational control. This is the documentation part. First is policy, and there are 4 types of formats in this EMS system. First is Apex manual, level 1 manual, we call operational manual, that is level 2 manual, forms and formats, that is level 3 manual, and records, level 4 manual. So checking, monitoring and measurement, evaluation of compliance, non-conformity, corrective and preventive action, control of records, then internal audit, management review. This is the holistic and strategic evaluation by the top management of audit findings and the degree to which organization's environmental policy, objectives, target, programs, and procedure are functioning to improve the environmental performance. So, what is changed in the new version, ISO 14001, 2015? There are many, there are major one changes, that is in 2004, there is 4 clause, and now it's clause 10. So most important area is in 2015, risk and opportunities, context of the organization and interested parties. So as you see in this slide, previously 4 clauses and now it becomes 10 clauses, like that, sir. So at the last, you can see continual improvement 10.3. This is the 10 number of clause. So what is context of organization? Context of the organization, more scope to the personalized organization impact. The organization will need to have a greater understanding of the important issues like external or internal, then can affect positively or negatively the way it manages environmental responsibility. External issues like legal requirement, change and plan change, technical developments, market analysis, competitions, supply chain, resources, ecological environment, that is food risk, sensitive ecosystem, like that, neighborhood problem, public interest, and internal issues, strategy, leadership and structures, performance indicators, communication and cultural issue. So risk and opportunity, we have given an example like risk, non-compliance of a statutory requirement in due time. So what is mitigation plan? Portal matrix is to be maintained to remind the due date. That means there is a one system to remind a pop-up in our PC to maintain the statutory requirement, which date is maybe over. Present status, like that, legacy matrix is engaged for due compliance reminder. And second is introduction of real-time ambient quality data, stack emission and filtration data to OSPC and CPCB. So what is mitigation plan? AMC to be provided to OEM to maintain the all online equipments and data transmission to SPCB and CPCB. And present status also AMC provided to OEM. Breakdown of ETP and STP, like that, any main unit, which is related to environment. Preventive regular maintenance and resource of operation is to be carried out and maintained. Preventive maintenance schedule is being carried out and resource are maintained. Then opportunity. Just I have given an example. Data logger is to be installed for online monitoring system. Now it is mandatory by Pollution Control Board. In case of online data transmission failure, data logger is installed. So all data shall be kept in the data logger. So you can see after running of the equipment, we can see the all data through the data logger. Plan for installation of data logger at online monitoring station during 2022-21, which is already installed. Second installation of sluice gate at both sides from after then to maintain zero discharge during monsoon, which is also planned. Interested party. Earlier also there was an interested party in the EMS system in version 2004 and prior to that also. But here the main focus and considering the so many items like clients, owners, authorities, employees, neighbors, general public also, bankers also, suppliers, partners, universities, authorities also, association also are included. This is an interested party, individual or group concerned with or affected by an environmental performance of the organizations like public, investor, employee, whatever we have already told in the previous slide. So now, after implementation, what is the benefit of environmental management system? I all know that this is not mandatory or legal requirement, this is a voluntary requirement. However, the benefits are as ensuring a holistic approach to environmental impacts, focusing on only critical aspects and processes, making use of time-tested, mature approaches recognized worldwide, establishing positive relationships with regulatory and as a brand of the company also it reflects. So thank you, sir. Considering the time I have completed and my presentation is short also.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot. Mm. You have elaborated many things about ISO and its requirement for the organization. So means everyone can understand how the ISO is important to implement, and of course, as much important as it is so simple to implement in the organizations. If after understanding, so that is very nice explanation about the ISO. Now the forum is open for question and answer session. If any person want to discuss anything or share anything on this platform, then they can share. Also, they can ask the question. Any person from the participant, any person from the panelist, if they want to add or they want to share something. I can see many the panelists are there. Dr. Patta Joshi sir, can you share something on ISO or any question if you in your mind?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
It's a nice deliberation by Mr. Misra. Misra ji, hello.
Yes, yes, please.
Yes. Why the organizations, not only the industries, why the organizations, even an environmental consultant organization or educational institution, why they need to subscribe the ISO systems? Is it mandatory or any other benefits they obtain by subscribing ISO systems in addition to industry?
But Joshi sir, please speak loudly, sir. Your voice is not too audible. Can you please?
He is asking that ISO requirement is mandatory for any organization other than industry. Is it right, sir? The
Yes, yes,
question,
yes, yes.
yeah, means any other organization other than industry. Is it mandatory for all the organization to implement ISO or not, except
Sir,
industry?
I think
Yeah.
Sir, as per the standard also speaks that this is the voluntary requirement. This is not required as a mandatory for uh, industries or any organization, sir.
Okay.
Okay. But usually the educational institutions are nowadays they also subscribe to the ISO. Although it's a voluntary requirement, whether it has certain advantages, even some environmental consultants organizations also subscribe to ISO 14000. Though it is not mandatory, still is there any advantage of subscribing to it? Can you pass some views on it?
Sir, again, your voice is not audible, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Sir, please pass on my question.
yeah. Sir is asking about the benefits. Suppose any organization like academic institution, if they want to subscribe the ISO, right? Then what type of benefits will be there for that organization, because they are not working for the environment, or we can say they are not polluting even the environment as industry doing. So what type of additional advantages for the academic institution to subscribe, or they are going for ISO, right, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir,
अच्छा
just I would like to say, sir, at present time, also government body says to the industry, your industry is certified ISO 14000 or not. First, I am talking about the industry concern. Sir, as of now, either any government regulatory like SPCB, CPCB, even MOF also during the presentation of when we going to the getting environmental clearance presentation, they also ask your industry is certified ISO 14000 or not. That means they know the implementation about or impact of ISO 14000 implementation for the industry very well. That's why they're asking the implementation of ISO 14001, and the benefit of for the non-organization like any institute, colleges or institution, there is in my opinion, the benefit for the any institution that the brand of the implementation of ISO 14001, it's reflects that about your organization or industry is fulfilling the ISO 14001 or through EMS legal requirement, which is which is the part of ISO 14001. That means any person or any organization if implement the ISO 14001, that means they are very conscious about the environmental regulations or any related to environment point of view, that much for the benefit for the organization or institution.
अंबिकेश जी नमस्ते, मैं जीएस पटनायक बोल रहा हूँ
सर बोलिए सर।
जेके पेपर से।
क्या गुड इवनिंग सर।
हाँ गुड इवनिंग गुड इवनिंग टू एवरीबॉडी। मेरा क्वेश्चन उल्टा है, जैसे परजूसी साहब पूछे हैं व्हाट इज द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ 14000 ऑन द एनवायरनमेंट। तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होने के बाद बहुत सारा कंपनियां इम्प्लीमेंट किए हैं, लेकिन ऐसा कितना परसेंट है कि सब कंप्लाई करते हैं नॉर्म्स को? जो हमको मिलता है कंसेंट को, व्हाट इज द परसेंटेज ऑफ इंडस्ट्रीज कंप्लाई टू ऑल द नॉर्म्स?
सर दिस इज डिपेंड अपॉन द इंडस्ट्री सर। अगर इंडस्ट्री का टॉप मैनेजमेंट, मैं यही सर बोलूँगा जस्ट इन नटसेल, इंडस्ट्री का टॉप मैनेजमेंट जिस नज़रिए से इन्वायरमेंट को देखना चाहता है वैसी सर इन्वायरमेंट रहेगा।
नहीं, फिर 14001 इम्प्लीमेंट करके कोई फायदा नहीं है ना। अगर नहीं भी है तो आप कर सकते हो, दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन द एटीट्यूड ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन।
सर मैं बता रहा हूँ अगर कोई इंडस्ट्री 14000 इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं किया है वो भी इंडस्ट्री चल रहा है, बट अगर सर आप रेगुलेटरी फॉर्म में जाएंगे, उनका मतलब ये परसेप्शन है कि ये इंडस्ट्री 14,001 इम्प्लीमेंट किया है, दैट मीन्स उसका जो सिस्टम है, उस सिस्टम के थ्रू तो सर कुछ ना कुछ किया है। सपोज कीजिए हम इंडस्ट्री मतलब कोई भी इंडस्ट्री चल रहा है, उसमें जो लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट है हमने उसमें फोकस किया कि नहीं। इनिशियली सर जैसे देखिए, इसमें अभी इंटीग्रेशन का एक जो मैटर आया था, प्रीवियसली आप देखे होंगे कि अभी आईएमएस सिस्टम हो गया, बट सर आप देखेंगे इंडिविजुअल पार्ट जो जो भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दिया हुआ है, एनवायरनमेंट का अलग है, सेफ्टी का अलग है, आपका हेल्थ का अलग है, उसमें इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्ट जो है सर, उसमें जो इम्प्रूवमेंट है अलग अलग फील्ड में, उसमें सर बेनिफिशियल रहेगा बजाते कि आईएमएस सिस्टम कंबाइन कर दिए और एक मतलब चला रहा है। आप सर खुद देख सकते हैं कि अगर इंडिविजुअल पे फोकस करेंगे तो उसमें बेनिफिट और इम्प्रूवमेंट ज़्यादा होगा।
नहीं, मेरा
तो
कहना ये है,
बहुत
मेरा
सारे
कहना ये है, हेलो,
हाँ बोलिए सर।
मेरा कहना यह है कि जो मैंडेटरी रिक्वायरमेंट्स जो है एनवायरनमेंट का,
सर
दैट्स ए पार्ट ऑफ 14,001।
यस सर।
तो आपका जो कंसेंट पॉइंट्स है ऑल आर मैंडेटरी, दे स्टैंड एट हाईएस्ट रिगार्ड विद द वॉट एवर यू रेटिंग्स यू गिव। अगर
यस
5
सर।
का 1 to 5 स्केल में है तो आपको 5 में ही रखना पड़ेगा। देयर इज नो अदर गो एट ऑल। तो
यस
वो
सर।
आपका जो 5-6 कंसेंट पॉइंट्स है या
सर
10 पॉइंट होंगे,
सर
आप उसको सेटिस्फाई कर लीजिए, जरूरत नहीं, इसका क्या जरूरत है, वो उसको अगर हम सेटिस्फाई कर लेंगे तो हो जाएगा।
नहीं सर, वो तो सर कॉन्सेंट पार्ट ऑफ व्यू से हो गया ना सर। सपोज कीजिए उन्होंने एयर का कुछ दे दिया, वाटर का दे दिया,
जी।
उसको हम कंप्लाई कर दिए, या फिर इन प्रोसेस में है कंप्लाई करने के लिए, जो भी है टाइम बाउंड, वो तो एक अलग हो गया सर। बट इस सिस्टम सिस्टम डिस्क्राइब सिस्टम में सर देखेंगे, जो सिस्टमेटिक वे में है। सपोज कीजिए आपका आईएसओ 14,000 इम्प्लीमेंटेड है, जब ऑडिट होती है उस समय आदमी क्या पूरा फोकस कर देता है? ऐसा सर ऐसा भी नहीं है, क्योंकि आपका सिस्टम में ऑलरेडी वो पार्ट है, जो कि आप जब ऑडिट होता है तो उसको मतलब एक्टिव करते हैं, लेकिन वो सब सिस्टम में आपका पार्ट है। सपोज कीजिए आप कॉन्सेंट का पार्ट हो गया कि आपको वाटर डिस्चार्ज नहीं करना है, ठीक है सर, लेकिन
जी।
वो वाटर डिस्चार्ज करने का इसमें तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं दिया हुआ है सिस्टम में कि आप वाटर डिस्चार्ज कर रहे हैं कि नहीं कर रहे हैं। इसमें लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट को फोकस करता है कि दिस इज द, आप डिस्चार्ज करिए, बट रेगुलेटरी पार्ट का जो नॉर्म्स है उस नॉर्म्स को फुलफिल करके डिस्चार्ज करिए। तो ये सिस्टम में सर, सिस्टम में अगर देखेंगे तो सिस्टम का जो भी क्लॉजेज है और रेगुलेटरी रिक्वायरमेंट है, अदर देन कॉन्सेंट का बात करेंगे तो इसमें सर उससे ज़्यादा ही है, जो कि प्लांट को मतलब इम्प्रूव करता है। आप सही में अगर सर इसको मेंटेन करिएगा, आईएसओ 14,000 सिस्टम जो है 1 by 1 जैसे करके मेंटेन करिएगा, जिस प्लांट में नहीं हुआ है सर देखिएगा उसमें फोकस मतलब होता है और इम्प्रूवमेंट सर हुआ भी है।
जी, धन्यवाद।
सर
Thank you very much for a nice discussion. Any other questions or any experience sharing from the participant, from the panelist?
Yes, sir. One question from my side. Dr. Suk Sharma is here.
Okay.
Uh, any organization, if want to approach for the ISO 14000, then how organization can process approach for the further steps, or can arrange more details for this process, this application of this acceptance of this ISO. Just share something about. Clear? So my question is here.
yes sir. Sir, your
Yes.
question is already its system is implemented, and
No, no,
after that, hello,
no. For the new process, new implementation. Suppose
मतलब
organization is
you want to have a implement the system.
no, they don't have
The question
anything.
is, let me explain. The question is, he want to know that if he is going for ISO for their organization, then how they can process the ISO system. Means they need to introduce the ISO for their organization, right, Dr. Ashok Sharma?
Sir, so for implementation of this ISO 14001 system, you can also establish the system or process without hire any consultant. And if you hire the consultant, your work process or time will be sorted, because consultant will guide us or whoever want to implement the system in a easy way. However, you can also implement this system without hiring the consultant.
Dr. Ashok,
Yes, sir. Noted.
Yes, please.
I'm GS Patnaik speaking. I have written a book recently on quality
Okay, sir.
assurance in industries, in which the systems is one chapter, where I have elaborated 9001, 14001, 45001, FSC, NABL, ERC, everything, all the systems are there. So there, step by step, how to go about to implement each and every system, that has been elaborated. If you want, you will get in Amazon already available it is. So Amazon,
Noted.
if you put quality assurance in industries by GS Patnaik, so that will come out. It is already in Prime only, it is available. You can go through, it's very well elaborated. Maybe it is within 4 or 5 pages, you will get everything.
Sure, sir. Noted, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Noted, sir. And if you want to get to environment clearance, then there is a clause or our ministry told that there is a requirement of NABL consultant, but this system there is no requirement of a third party consultant. You can also establish this system in your plant, sir.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yes.
But NABL also doesn't allow any consultants, you know.
Pardon, sir?
NABL also doesn't
Yes,
allow
right,
any
right, sir, right.
consultants.
Only in case of EC, MOF, one clause is there, or he told also, you have to hire one NABET consultant.
Yeah.
So, okay, sir. Noted, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, very nice. Any other participant, if they have any question related to ISO introduction, something? Any means panelist, if they want to share something about ISO? GS Patnaik sir, if you want to share something about ISO, apart from which we have already discussed.
Yes, I think Mr. Mishra has covered a lot, everything,
Yeah.
and we have discussed also. Still, we can say that is yes, as he elaborated, it is a very good system. And, all the ISO systems are very good to maintain the uh, organization systems in an organized way. So people are, we hear training is there, awareness is there, auditings are there, and third party audits are there always, so that you keep on updating the knowledge and the skills and requirements, mandatory requirements as well as the company's requirements. It's a continual improvement, and it's a very good system to follow. And every industry, or nowadays, as Mr. Dr. Parjoshi has told, institutions are also, and housing complexes are also trying to have 14,001 to control the environment as per the requirement of the societies. So it's a very good system, I say.
Right. Correct, sir. So that's very nice interaction about the ISO and its requirement. Any organization can implement without going under ISO. They have to follow if they want to follow, because this depends on our intention to protect the environment, to give something to the nature. So ISO is not actually the legal requirement here in India, but it is voluntary. If you want to follow, then you can follow. Any organization, not only this means a company, industry, or academic, the panwala can also utilize, implement this ISO standard. So every
Yes.
organization can follow, can implement, but depending on the intention to implement the system. So that is very nice interaction for today for this ISO requirement. We have announcement for one training session, 1 week training session we have planned on EIA, environmental impact assessment, perception to perfection. This is already scheduled on 20th September this month. Registrations are open till 19th September. The timing I already discussed about this, 7:30 p.m. in the evening, means after office hours you can join, up to 9, 9:10 or something, like 9:30. So 2 hours, maximum 2 hours will be devoted daily to 7 days on discussion of EIA. Here you can see the detailed brochure, like that whatever type of coverage will be there, like what I need notification of 2006, then 2020, why it is draft, how it is has been translated into 22 languages, and many things are there, like what are the chapterization in EIA, what the EMP additional studies are there, how the legislation has been covered, then legal frame like Air Act, Water Act, EPA, and other requirement as per the NABIT. Then we have the EC process like screening, scoping, public consultation, appraisal, TOR, EDS, ADS. Many things are there. Then we have baseline data collection in terms of air, water, soil, noise, geology, hydrology, ecology, biodiversity, land use. Then we have impact, anticipated impact assessment in terms of air quality index, water quality index, noise quality index, soil fertility index, some softwares for traffic impact assessment, for risk assessment, and many things. Then we have preparation of EMP, ECBC compliances, TIA, CER activities, rules and regulation, new amendments, whatever we get till now. Then we have the some case studies related to EDS, ADS, STAR presentation, EC presentation, MIA, SIA, WIA, and presentations before the committee member, how they are going to. The registration fees is 3,000 rupees. For the student it is 2,500 rupees. And mode of payment you can use like Google Pay, GPay, Phone Pay, whatever you have, while e-wallet or UPI or NEFT. And two mode of means payments, many mode of payments are also there. Registration form can be filled via WhatsApp, otherwise you can go for Google form. That's all from my side. Thank you very much, all the participants, and our speaker, Dr. Ambikesh Mishraji, and all the participant panelists. Thank you very much for being here. Next, we have another session on the same time, same link, environment management in Haridwar city. So we'll discuss in the next session. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you,
Dr.
sir.
Saab. Session was very nice and useful and knowledgeable. So thank you. Thank you for organizing the
Thanks.
webinar.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Mr. Ravi. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot. So now I am
What do you say? Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.